This Week in History, January 19th to 25, Events that Shaped the World. What if I told you that in just 1 week, revolutions erupted, groundbreaking discoveries were made, and events occurred that forever reshaped the fabric of history? This fascinating journey through time takes us to the week of January 19th to January 25th, a week filled with stories of triumph, innovation, and turning points. Whether it's a natural disaster sparking monumental policy changes or historical revolutions tearing down monarchies, these events reveal the power history holds in shaping the world we live in today. But first, let's start with a freezing January day in 1977 that left an entire nation reeling. On January 19th, we remember one of history's most compelling figures, Amelia Earhart. While her famous disappearance during an around-the-world flight happened years later, it's worth reflecting on her fearless life and groundbreaking achievements. Earhart shattered gender norms and broke down barriers for women in aviation. Her contributions weren't just about flying. They were about empowerment, courage, and inspiring the world to chase the impossible. What makes her legacy so enduring is exactly that, her ability to inspire. Even today, her mysterious disappearance remains one of history's great unsolved puzzles, captivating enthusiasts and dreamers alike. Her story reminds us how courage and resilience can become timeless. January 20th is a date marked by significant political changes. In 1981, this day witnessed Ronald Reagan's inauguration as the 40th President of the United States. It was a moment of pomp and promise, famously underscored by the end of the Iran hostage crisis. After 444 grueling days in captivity, 52 American hostages were released on the same day as Reagan's swearing in. The timing wasn't just coincidental, it was symbolic. It marked a shift in U.S.-Iran relations and a moment of renewed hope after one of the longest hostage crises in history. But let's not forget another January 20th milestone, John F. Kennedy's 1961 inaugural speech. His iconic words, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," continue to resonate across generations, reminding us of the power of leadership and collective responsibility. Moving ahead, January 21st takes us to one of Europe's most pivotal moments, the execution of King Louis XVI in 1793 during the French Revolution. Imagine the scene, an absolute monarch brought to trial and sentenced to death. This event was more than just the end of a king's reign. It was the definitive blow to the divine right of kings and a declaration that power could belong to the people. The death of Louis XVI not only marked a turning point in the French Revolution, but also sparked waves of change across Europe. It was a bold statement against tyranny, though it came with great bloodshed. This event reminds us of the power of collective action, but also the heavy cost of revolutionary change. On January 22, 1973, the United States Supreme Court made a landmark decision with Roe v. Wade. This court case legalized abortion nationwide, forever altering the conversation around reproductive rights. Roe v. Wade wasn't just a legal milestone, it was a cultural and political turning point. It gave women greater autonomy and ignited debates that continue to this day. Even decades later, the ruling remains a flashpoint of contention, symbolizing progress for some and controversy for others. What makes Roe v. Wade so fascinating to reflect upon is how it underscores the complexity of balancing personal freedoms with societal norms, a debate that societies worldwide grapple with. Not every historic event is a world war or revolution. Sometimes it's about the smaller joys of life, like the invention of the Frisbee. Yes, on January 23, 1957, the Wham-O company produced the first flying disc, officially branding it as a Frisbee. While it may seem trivial, this quirky invention has gone on to impact culture and play in surprising ways. From professional ultimate Frisbee leagues to lazy afternoons in the park, the Frisbee embodies the idea that even the simplest inventions can leave lasting impressions. This story reminds us to find joy in exploration, and that innovation sometimes starts with the most unassuming of ideas. On January 24, 1984, the world of technology was forever changed. Apple announced its first Macintosh computer with one of the most unforgettable TV commercials ever aired. This wasn't just about launching another product. It was a bold statement, a declaration of defiance against conformity and a nod to creative freedom. The Macintosh revolutionized how we interact with technology, introducing a user-friendly interface and inviting the masses into the personal computing age. Fast forward to today, and we see how this event laid the foundation for Apple's empire and how technology continues to shape the way we live, work, and connect. As we wrap up the week, January 25th offers us two fascinating events. First, in 1919, the League of Nations was established as part of the Treaty of Versailles. This bold attempt at international unity aimed to prevent future wars after the devastation of World War I. Though the League ultimately failed, it set the groundwork for the creation of the United Nations, proving that even failures can lead to long-term success. On a different note, January 25th in 1978 was marked by one of the most audacious robberies in history, the Lufthansa heist. A group of criminals stole millions in cash and jewelry from JFK Airport in New York City, and the story inspired countless films and books. It's a reminder that history isn't always about kings and revolutions. Sometimes it's about the audacity of human ambition, even on the wrong side of the law. Before we conclude, let's revisit that freezing winter of January 1977. A historic cold wave swept across the United States, plunging temperatures to record lows and leaving much of the country paralyzed. Beyond the natural disaster itself, its impact pushed the government to rethink energy policies and prepare for future crises. It's fascinating how nature can force humanity to adapt and innovate, turning moments of hardship into lessons of resilience and preparation. What do all these events have in common? They remind us that history is shaped by a diverse mix of courage, innovation, struggle, and human ambition. From political milestones and technological breakthroughs to personal liberties and unexpected joys, this week in history teaches us about the triumphs and trials that define the human experience. As we reflect on these stories, let's remember why understanding history matters. It's not just about dates and events. It's about connecting with the past to better navigate the future. As the saying goes, those who fail to understand history are destined to repeat it. This week in history, January 19th, 25, is filled with extraordinary tales of sacrifice, innovation, and change. These moments, though separated by time and place, share a common thread. They've each shaped the course of humanity in their own way. So what's your favorite historical event from this week in history? Is there a moment that resonates with you personally or inspires you to dig deeper into the past? Let us know, because together we can bring history alive, not as something distant or dusty, but as a living, breathing force that still impacts our lives today.